Welcome back, frienderinos. Let's check in with the crew, shall we? Especially our new crew member, Miss Liartasoni.
Yes, Commander?
Okay, looks like he's got nothing new
Yes, ma'am.
about Joker. By the way, more codex. I already did my codex episode, though. I'll do these entries after. I'll do this entry and all the other new ones after. Yeah, that one too. And that one. Okay, so this is what I was thinking I was gonna get earlier, but it only actually appears probably after whichever first mission you do. But it's early enough in the game that I ended up misremembering when exactly you get those. Apparently, you have that too. All right.
I prefer gold to silver, for my medal. Maybe you'd recommend me for one since I pulled your boots out of the fire.
Literally. The exploding volcano fire.
If we present you with a medal, you'll end up sitting on stage listening to politicians make speeches for a couple of hours.
That's a good point. They'd probably make me shave, too. I spent the last 7 weeks working on this baby. No medal's worth that. So, Commander, why don't you tell me why you're really here?
How's the Normandy performing? Is she everything they said she'd be?
I think
she's the best ship in the...
I think none of this is new. I'm 100% certain
I have to go.
Alright, see ya.
I have talked to him about that particular thing. I'm pretty sure he has nothing new right now. Alright, so I was thinking he might have stuff about our new crew member, but maybe that's just a Mass Effect 2 and I do believe also 3 thing in this game. Anywho. Or maybe it just starts happening later in this game. I think it's actually a 2 and 3 thing, the more I think about it, though. Let's see if Chuck has anything new to say.
Yes, Commander? Is there something you need?
Nope, nothing new here.
I should go.
Goodbye, Commander.
What about... But yeah, there was a new little thing in dialogue from Joker. This is why I go around and talk to everyone after every major mission. Generally, it's a good idea to do that. Make sure you check everyone, just in case there's new dialogues.
Commander, do you have a minute?
I always make time for my officers.
Off the record, I think there's something wrong here. This Saren is looking for records on some kind of galactic extinction, but we can't get backup from the Council? Sorry, Commander. There's writing on the wall here, but someone isn't reading it.
Yep, Shepard gets that. And so do I. And get used to it, Caden, because it's the whole damn trilogy. For some fucking reason. Council never listens, and it really bites them and the whole galaxy and everyone living in it on the ass. In 3.
The Council doesn't want to believe anything's wrong. I'd call it human nature, but...
I hear you. It just seems like a group that's been around as long as the Council should see this coming.
Yeah,
it's funny,
that's a good
finally
point.
Get out here, and the final frontier was already settled, and the residents don't even seem impressed by the view or the dangers.
That sounds like flirting, and she is gay as hell. We'll go with this one.
Well, well. You're a romantic. Did you sign on for the dream, Malenko? Secure a man's future in space?
Yeah, I read a lot of those books when I was a kid, where the hero goes to space to prove himself worthy of a woman he loves, or, for justice. Maybe I was a romantic in the beginning, but I thought about it after brain camp. Biotic acclimation and temperance training. I'm not looking for the dream. I just want to do some good. See what's out here. Sorry if I got too informal. Protocol wasn't a big focus back in Bot.
A lot of people don't really enjoy Caden very much, but especially in 1, I like him. I like a lot of his dialogue trees. I don't know, he's just kind of a down-to-earth person, and he has a really well fleshed out and sense-making way of looking at things, and dialogue's very well written. He definitely has enough personality to me, though a lot of people seem to disagree, and I really wonder why, honestly. If you kind of have insight into that, let me know in the comments.
Tell me about him.
Biotic acclimation and temperance didn't last past the airlock. To the kids they hauled in, it was brain camp. Sorry, hauled in is unkind. We were encouraged to commit to an evaluation of our abilities so an understanding of biotics could be compiled. There are worse results of accidental exposure to element 0 in the womb. Beats the brain tumors some kids grew up with.
Oof. You know, he said it was unkind to call it hauled in, but if you felt like you were hauled in, then your ass is hauled in. Trying to be politically correct about something you were forced into, you know, is... I don't think it's necessary at all. But he's an old-fashioned person, very by-the-book, follows orders, so he'd probably try to be cautious about that, but I think he's warranted to go ahead and call it like it is. He was hauled in. Because they wanted to study the, how the hell humans have biotics and what to do about it, essentially. And probably how to make it stronger and etc. Except, brain camp might, and basically forcing kids to attend a place like this might seem like a horrible thing, but he'll keep talking about it, and it'll be clear that it's actually just a pretty cool place. It was not a bad experience for him, but we will see some much less ethical biotics training and the resultant of that in another party member in Mass Effect 2, and I love her, by the way. Anywho, that's for a good amount of time from now in ME2.
Is there some question about how you were exposed?
My mother was downwind of a transport crash. It was before there were human biotics, a little after the discovery of the Martian ruins. It only gets iffy around 63 when Kinetics was running out of first-gen subjects. Until then, they'd relied on accidentals. Bunch of guys in suits show up at your door after school, and next thing you know, you're out on Jump Zero.
Ooful. Yeah, okay, so he was accidentally, he was an accidental case, but, well, yeah. A lot of people are thinking that Kinetics essentially forced EZO exposure. So yeah, Kinetics also can go to hell, but Cerberus can go to hell even more. And if you don't know what I mean by that, play Mass Effect 2 and talk to Jack about it. Say that.
Jump Zero's a long way from home. What was it like?
Hi, Kitty.
The grand gateway to humanity looks a lot better in the vids. Anyway,
Hi, Gravity.
this was supposed to be a casual debrief, not
No,
a
I
full
don't see.
session about stuff that
No.
happened years ago.
Hello, other kitty. Big hat's on my desk. Let me deal with these kitties real quick before I continue. Alright, 3, 2, 1. Hello, friendos, once again. Can be in the same video. Wow, amazing. I'm just kind of used to doing my intro by now. Anywho, I want to know my crew.
We have to depend on each other in combat. I like knowing what kind of man I have at my back.
I understand, ma'am. I won't let you down. You, make a habit of getting this personal with everyone?
That's like ultra flirty. And that is too. You basically are forced to flirt with him if you're not careful. But you can shut him down later in order to, when he asked you about Liara, and also reassure Liara when she asked about this dude, and then it'll be all Gucci for the Durgan, but yeah.
Of course. But I don't enjoy it with everyone.
We'll
talk again later.
that sounded really mean.
I'm
I'm sorry for turning off the sound sometimes.
I'd like
Sometimes I kind of protect myself from embarrassment, like, what's the word? I want to call it surrogate embarrassment. Like, vicarious embarrassment, like, from characters in fiction by covering my ears, because embarrassment is extremely hard for me to deal with in real life. It just is this reflexive response to some kind of, to some things. It's part of my whole mental, set of baggage, you could say, my sensitivities, my autism, ADHD, etc. I hope. Anyhow. Let's continue on. Alrighty, continuing to talk to everyone. Alright, we've stopped by Caden. This is our room now. There won't be anyone in here, right? Yep. I kind of can't wait until 2 and 3, where our room is actually a little cozy private place for Shepard. And, in this game, it's not really a thing. Sadly. Wait, hold on. Did I go into Chakwas and not actually go all the way back to Liara? Did I do that? Let's do that while we're up here on this floor. Oh, she's so pretty. I love Liara's design, man.
Commander, are you
I just
coming to
wish
check
she
up on me?
kept her demeanor from this game. I wish she kept it a bit more than she does. And I also feel like to lose all of that within the space of 2 years, I really feel like it's for dramatic effect more than anything. I don't know. I say lose all of it, but she does seem to regain some of it, and retain some of it. I don't know. I'll have to kind of really think about it while I'm there. And also how she's portrayed for the rest of 3, because again, I actually haven't played the entirety of 3. Anyway.
You look much better. How are you feeling?
Dr. Chakwas assures me I am going to be fine. I was impressed with her knowledge of Asari physiology.
She's awesome.
You're in good hands. Dr. Chakwas knows what she's doing.
I never properly thanked you for saving me from the Geth, Commander. If you hadn't shown up,
I'm just glad we got there in time.
so am I. I know you took a chance bringing me aboard this ship. I have seen the way your crew looks at me. They do not trust me. But I am not like Benezia. I will do whatever I can to help you stop Saren. I promise.
She trusts her. She has a good feeling about people. She's always felt like she's good at reading people, and this will lead into how much she ends up falling for Liara, because, I mean, she's already got a good feeling about her right away. She can tell she's sincere. She could tell she was sincere when earlier, she denied that she was working with Saren at all, or really has any idea of what and why Benezia is doing and why, despite being her daughter, because she actually has not had contact with her for a long time. So, with all that together and just her demeanor and the fact that she clearly wanted to help, with the Prothean Beacon thing, and she also provided some very useful information to help piece some things together. And this sincerity from her right now, like, Shepard, Ada really doesn't feel like she has any reason not to trust her.
Don't worry, Liara. I trust you. I know you won't let me down.
It means a lot to hear you say that, Commander. Thank you.
Cute. Alright, let's talk about her some more.
Tell me about yourself, Liara.
Me? I am afraid I am not very interesting, Commander. I spend most of my time on remote digs, unearthing mundane items buried in long-forgotten Prothean ruins.
Ada would disagree, considering especially, the life of an archaeologist is definitely very far removed from what she's doing. And I don't know, she really would like to to know how Liara ticks, and, well, she's already kind of eyeing her in a kind of sexual way, because she's extremely lesbian and also pretty darn sexual in nature. So, yeah, there's several reasons why she's definitely interested in Liara.
Sounds dangerous. And lonely.
Sometimes I would run afoul of indigenous life forms or stumble across a small band of mercenaries or privateers. But I was always careful. Until the Geth followed me to Artemis Tau. I never found myself in any situation my biotics could not handle. As for the solitude, well, that is one aspect that most appealed to me. Sometimes I just need to get away from other people.
I understand that a lot. I understand that very much. Especially in my situation where I still live with my parents. Because, I mean, unless this takes off, I'm not sure what else I'm going to be doing for a job because of my mental situation. Let's just kind of leave it at that. And just in the fact that I'm impaired against, in a lot of ways that don't really help actual jobs happen. Or, you know, what you would normally think of when you hear the word job, let's say that. I really feel like there needs to be a shift towards more independent types of employment that still are helpful to people. At least for people like me and some others, but regardless, especially in this generation. And just a lot of reform in how companies do things in order for others to actually continue to work in normal ways.
You don't like other people?
I suppose it comes from being a matriarch's daughter. People expected me to follow in Benezia's footsteps. They wanted me to become a leader of our people. Matriarchs guide their followers into the future. They seek the truth of what is yet to come. Maybe that's why I became so interested in the secrets of the past. It sounds so foolish when I say it out loud. It sounds like I became an archaeologist simply to spite Benezia.
All children rebel against their parents. It's a natural part of growing up.
Aha, you share the wisdom of the matriarch, Shepherd. That is exactly what Benezia said when I told her of my decision. But there was more to it than that. I felt drawn to the past. The Protheans were these wondrous, mysterious figures. I wanted to know everything about them.
And she did notice
that. Is
that.
why I find you
the
so
passion.
fascinating. You were marked by the beacon on Eden Prime. You were touched by working Prothean technology.
And this is what I love about her, the enthusiasm. And also, say what you can. Say what you like about the voice actress. I've heard people say that she wasn't a very seasoned voice actress at this time, and it shows to them. But to me, I mean, she does a perfect job doing an awkward Asari, and the way that she carries herself is very also, I don't know, definitely mysterious and alien enough. The lilting, delicate quality to her voice is definitely, there's something kind of inhuman to it. That you might expect from a beautiful alien like an Asari. It's very interesting. And then also the genuine, it really feels like genuine enthusiasm when she talks about this kind of thing. I think she fit perfectly for this role, and I really prefer, this, side of Liara a lot more than the 2 and 3 Liara. Mostly 2. The sheer amount of angst and jadedness that she had at that point, it just, I don't know, 2 years, no matter how much time passed, I would rather have her stayed like this. There needs to be more of this kind of curiosity in the world. I maintain it as best I can. I maintain this gentle curiosity that I saw echoed in her as much as I possibly can.
Sounds like you want to dissect me in a lab somewhere.
What? No, I did not mean to insinuate. I never meant to offend you, Shepherd.
Sorry, Hug.
I only meant that you would be an interesting specimen for an
Liara,
in-depth study. No, that's even worse.
Calm down, Liara. I was only joking.
Joking? Oh, by the goddess! How could I be so dense?
And see,
You
this
must
is
think
why.
I am a complete and utter fool.
Huggo.
Now you know why I prefer to spend my time in the field with data disks and computers. I always seem to say something embarrassing around other people.
Welcome to my
Please,
life.
just pretend this conversation never happened.
This is another reason why I love her, because, God, it's very relatable to me. Very relatable. I prefer to spend my time right here with my computer for practically the same reason. You know? It helps that I love technology, and especially video games, so much. And also creating, which I can do very easily at a computer. Especially writing, and also making videos, you know, at this point. I mean, if you look at my channel, there's over 100 there, and I'm going to continue to work on them. Really, honestly, no matter if I ever get popular or not, I just want to keep making videos. I've wanted to make videos for so long, and I kept stopping, but I always come back to this. And I think now is the time where I'm finally going to be really, really gung-ho about it. And we'll see where that leads me. If anywhere. All I know is it's just great to it just feels great to create videos regardless. Well,
I'd like to know more about the Asari.
We were the first species to discover the Citadel. We were instrumental in forming the Council, and we always strive to be the voice of peaceful cooperation in galactic disputes. My people believe we are all part of a single galactic community. Each species contributes something to the greater whole.
and that is
Although
how
we
the
seek to
council
understand
essentially
other
works,
species,
which is
it
really
seems
cool.
few of them seek to understand us. The galaxy is filled with rumors and misinformation about my people.
It's okay, because Shepard seeks to understand you. Always will. She will always love your people. There's just something about the Asari that fascinates her and draws her in. Several things about them. And it's interesting because, you know, they... Like, because I never really drew this parallel before. It's pretty fascinating. So, Liara says that she thinks that the Asari generally think of all species as you know, members of a galactic community, that they all have roles to fill essentially. And if you look at the council, that is pretty much exactly how it functions. The Turian provide military services. The Solarians provide a lot of the scientific you know, gears that drive a lot of the technology and a lot of innovation, a lot of etc. The Volus provide financial services and that sort of thing. I don't know if the L Corps really have a role, so to speak. I'm kind of blanking on if they do or not. But they're all over the place doing all sorts of things. Thinking. A lot of them are merchants, actually. But I wonder if that's a normal thing or not, or if it's just... I'm remembering a few Elcor merchants right now. Well, there's Elcor in all sorts of walks of life. It's pretty clear at this point. Like, for example, Zelton is a diplomat, and then, you know, there was the Elcor that's chilling in the embassies. The ambassador is doing that, and then there's... I'm trying to remember of others besides merchants and such, but I remember there's a merchant, an Elcor merchant on Noveria, I do believe. I think that's what he is, and he ended up getting stuck in Noveria because of reasons we'll see when we get to Noveria. Oh boy, reasons that kind of creep me out. And then there's also a I think his name's Moreland. There's an Elcor merchant in Mass Effect 2 as well, and I'd like to kind of notice what other Elcor are doing here in the galaxy that we know about anyway, except for ones we just see around and stuff. But let's see what else. That's pretty much it. But yeah, like I think the Asari noticed, or at least intuited these things about these races, and that's part of why they're doing what they're doing, and like generally as a species, in contribution to the council as a whole. Which the reason I think that mostly is because of the whole thing surrounding the consort that we talked about earlier, and I don't know if I actually have that recorded because of when I accidentally recorded a black screen for 2 hours, but yeah, I love the Asari, man. It's really interesting to think about the ramifications of a lot of what she says. All right.
Like what?
Most of the inaccuracies are centered around our mating rituals. My species is monogendered. Male and female have no real meaning for us. We still require a partner to reproduce. This second parent, however, may be of any species and any gender.
I don't understand. Your species can mate with anyone?
Mating is not quite the proper term, not as you understand it. Physical contact may or may not be involved, but it is not an essential element of the union. The true connection is mental. Our physiology allows us to meld with other beings. We can touch the very depths of their minds.
Which I've always found
We
fascinating.
explore the genetic memory of their species. We share the most basic elements of their individual and racial identities. We then pass these traits on to our daughters. It is how we learn to grow as a species and how we develop a greater understanding of other races.
Which I think is really awesome.
What happens to your partner after the union?
Every relationship is different. Some unions are a single encounter with both parents parting ways afterwards. Others can be more long-term. Sometimes an Asari and her partner will stay together for many decades.
Do you know who Matriarch Benezia chose as her partner?
She rarely spoke of her partner. Though I know my father, if you want to use that term, was another Asari.
Benezia never told you her partner's name?
Union with our own kind is no longer common, not for the purposes of reproduction. Most Asari believe it weakens our species. Asari daughters inherit racial traits from the father species. If both parents are Asari, then nothing has been gained, or so conventional wisdom would hold. I am what is sometimes called a pureblood, though no Asari would ever be cruel enough to say the word to my face. It is a great insult among my people. It is possible Benezia's partner was embarrassed by their union. She may have been too ashamed to publicly acknowledge me as her offspring.
I find it extremely interesting that pureblood is an insult in this situation, which makes perfect sense considering the context around it that she just explained. Considering that pureblood is normally used as... It's normally a... especially if you use it, in relation to, racial traits or, in relation to, basically people who own animals that are, like, purebred are usually pretty proud of that. I don't know if that's a good thing, but in fact, I would argue that it really isn't. But yeah, they're usually proud of that. But most, sorry, just basically blanket think of it as an insult, which is really interesting. It's interesting because we will also be meeting her father in Mass Effect 3, which is really interesting. She's a really interesting person, too.
Maybe she wanted to meet you but couldn't. Maybe something could have happened to her. Maybe she passed away.
You might be right. I hope you are. But I have no way to know for sure. Benezia never spoke of her partner. Whatever happened, it caused her too much pain to dwell on it. She raised me by herself, though that is not uncommon. Many Asari raise their children alone, particularly if the father species is short-lived. Often the partner will pass on long before the child reaches maturity.
Alright, I think she's gonna let her be for now.
I should go.
There's definitely a lot
Goodbye,
to unpack
Shepard.
here, and I love how much you can explore her species. Similarly to how you can really open up a lot of dialogue to Tali as well about hers, because the Quarians are also extremely fascinating to me. The Turians are pretty clear-cut about how they function, so as far as I remember, there's not really a lot of dialogue you talk to Garrus about regarding his people, but I don't think that's really needed. We'll definitely learn more about Turians later, though. It's pretty darn fascinating. Anywho, I just kind of wish that females of other species were more recognized. Like, we don't really see female Turians, I think, at all, as far as I really remember, until Mass Effect 3, and it's a DLC, too. But we do see a female Turian party member in Andromeda. In fact, I only really know that from someone who's played it, enjoyed it. And I think I'm actually going to enjoy Andromeda when I go and play it. I really do think I am. I honestly let other people's opinions about it decide that I shouldn't play it because it sucks and stuff. But I really feel like I'm gonna like it because I'm not judgmental like that. And I understand that basically the only reason the game did as poorly as it did is because E08 tried to really put their fingers in the pie, as far as I understand. And there's a lot of really good stuff there. The combat system's good. The game looks pretty good generally. There is some good character moments and stuff in there, from what I've heard. And I'll let you guys know what I think when I get there. After I finish ME3, but that's a big ways. In fact, ME3 is also going to be like about half blind for me. I've gotten pretty far, but like twice, but I've never actually finished a game. I'll fix that one of these days, very soon. Pretty sure. Oh, hold on. I don't know why I went back all the way back up here, because I want to make sure that Garrus, Rex, and Tali have nothing to say to me, and then we're going to be going. Whew. Whew. Also, oh yeah, also, he has licenses now. Also, I
Looking for
wonder if I
supplies?
might be able to buy some armor from him. Especially, at least some medium armor that's better than what I've got. Because I've still got a 1,
Let's see what you've got.
You bet, Commander.
Also, I have stuff to sell while I'm here. Heavy armor human, yes. But, yeah, quite a bit. Okay, 24,000 is not actually horrible compared to what I have. I have 15,000, but yeah, I'm still going to have to sit on that for a while. However, it's interesting how they're all 4s. Yeah, all the armor is 4s, which I find interesting. Well, actually, no, that's not right, actually. Okay, I can actually get the Scorpion 4, but I want heavy armor. Let's see. Ooh, I'm not sure what the difference between the Predator and Scorpion are, but I'll figure that out when I have 24,500, because they're both that. But first, let's sell. Let's sell everything that's under 3, as usual. And also things I don't think I'm going to be using. Also, I don't think I'm really going to be caring much about pistols, though I could at least give it to someone who's going to use a pistol. Because I'm probably not going to touch pistols for the game. Probably just going to continue to be a snipper-riffle boy. Anywho, oh, oops,
Looking for supplies?
Was that really all I had that I could sell? Hold on, hold the phone. Ooh, yeah, it really does look like, yes, that is really all else I have that I can sell whatsoever. Alright, so I still have to wait for those. Okay. Hello, Ashley? But,
Commander?
Do you have a few minutes to talk? One-on-one?
Sure. I was hoping to get a minute of your time.
oh yeah, okay.
Off the record.
So, this is why I'm down here. And I said I wanted to talk to Garrus, Rex, and Tali, but I generally do also enjoy Ashley's character. Again, I'm not as judgmental of a person as most people. So, I'm actually trying to move entirely into non-judgment as a way of viewing the world, and it's powerful the more that I work on that, and the more that I'm able to do that. And so I suggest that everyone tries to do that, to be entirely frank. And it is not easy, but through observation of yourself, you learn how, over time. It's a very intuitive thing. It's not really something I can explain in words, but you learn how. You learn how to not be so judgmental. And you start to feel better about everything. You start to feel less angry about all sorts of things. And just everything is just way more tolerable than it was before, because you're just not judging everything you see. I don't know. That's me. But I still think it's something that most humans would extremely benefit from learning how to do better than they currently know how.
I keep an open door policy. If you have any concerns, lay them on me.
All right. I know things are different aboard the Normandy, but I'm concerned about the aliens, Vicarian and Rex. With all due respect, Commander, should they have full access to the ship?
It's interesting how she doesn't mention Tali because of her technological mindset, or Liara. And I don't know if this is the reason, but Shepard, or not, wow, but Lore Runner, a person, like I said, one of the people I watched so much, brought up an interesting point when I watched his lore run of this series. He brought up a very interesting point of regarding the fact that the aliens she calls out are the ones that look the least human. And I only kind of made this connection a little bit ago, spur of the moment, but like I said, Tali's the one who knows how to work ships. If you should be afraid of anyone getting getting super deep access to the ship, it'd probably be her, because she's a tech guru. But no, she's concerned about Vicarian and Rex because they probably scare her a bit, because they're very inhuman looking.
Don't mince words, Chief. What's your concern?
Interesting.
This is the most advanced ship in the Alliance Navy. I don't think we should give them free rein to poke around the vital systems.
What's interesting
Engines,
is...
sensors, weapons...
What's interesting is most people would actually point fingers at Tali, but she's not. And Tali's already has access to the engine room, and I don't think she's an engineer yet. I think she's actually just kind of a passenger right now, though I may be wrong about that. But I'm pretty sure she's basically just a passenger right now. But anywho. Part of me wants to be like, just shut her down. So what do I think she would do? What do I think Ada would do here, though? That's a good question. It's very clear she doesn't trust aliens. I don't think she'd ask. I think she'd literally just be like, look, no.
That's enough, Chief. You always second-guess your superiors?
Ma'am, no ma'am. I'm sorry, I was out of line. I'll get back to my duties, Commander.
Yeah, she, that makes, thinking about it for a second, that makes a lot of sense for her, because she does not tolerate bigotry in any form. That sounded like bigotry to her. I'm pretty sure you could call Ashley a bigot. Again, I personally don't have any kind of vendetta against her like a lot of players do. I just think it's interesting that she's like that, it helps that it's a game and I can kind of see a little bit outside of the perspective. What's interesting is I still tend to get judgmental about villains, but usually never my own crew members, because they're my allies. What reason do I have to be judgmental and angry against them? That's always how I've thought about it. Anywho. Hello, Tolly.
Oh, hello, Shepard.
Aw, Tolly hugs.
Are you okay?
I don't know. Your ship is amazing, and your crew's been really great to me, especially your chief engineer. But I just sort of feel out of place. The Normandy runs so smooth it feels like we're not even moving, and the engines are so quiet. How do you sleep at night?
This is an interesting point here.
The silence wakes you up?
Back on the flotilla, the last thing you want to hear is silence. It means an engine's died or an air filter shut down.
Which makes sense because they're old ships.
I guess you don't have to worry about that here. But old habits die hard. But it's more than just the silence. This ship feels so empty. It's like half the crew is missing. Back home, I couldn't wait to go on my pilgrimage. I couldn't wait to get away from the crowds. Now that I'm out here, I kind of miss them.
Sometimes we don't appreciate what we have till it's gone.
That's true. I'm starting to wonder if that's what the pilgrimage is really about. It's given me a whole new perspective on my people and our culture. You know, there's always a few who go on their pilgrimages and never return. I always assumed something bad happened to them. But maybe they just wanted a different life.
Yeah, that is probably a thing that several Quarians have had a dilemma about, but she hasn't. In fact, she's about to explain that.
You do plan to return to the migrant fleet, right?
I could never abandon my people, Shepard. I will go back eventually, but we have to stop Saren first. Otherwise, I might not have a home to go back to.
And that's part of why Tully's awesome. At least someone sees what's going on, and not the people that have the power to really move what needs to be moved. The counselors. Anywho, let us continue.
I should go.
See you later.